These are the men called infidels. 1847. These are the men called infidels. Slavery finds no defenders so formidable as the doctors of divinity in America. Slavery finds no defenders so formidable as the doctors of divinity in America. They are more skillful, adroit, and persevering than any other class of opponents with whom the abolitionists have to contend in that country. The fact that slavery takes refuge in the churches of the United States will explain to you another fact, which is that the opponents of slavery in America, the abolitionists, are almost universally branded there, and I am sorry to say here in Britain also, as infidels. Why is this? In the United States, we have slaveholders as ministers of the gospel, elders, deacons, doctors of divinity, professors of theology, even bishops. Slavery, white supremacy, they're even bishops. We have slaveholders in all parts of the church. Slavery has not only framed our civil and criminal code, it has not only nominated our presidents, judges, and diplomatic agents, but it's also given us the most popular commentators on the Bible in America. Slavery has given us our religion. It has shaped our morality and fashioned it favorable to its own existence. When the abolitionist sees slavery thus woven and interwoven with the very texture of our social and religious organizations, why he resolves at whatever hazard of reputation, ease, comfort, luxury, and even of life itself to pursue and, if possible, destroy it. Hence, having followed it from the state to the street, from the mob to the church, from the church to the pulpit, he is now hunting it down there. But slavery in the present day affects to be very pious. It is uncommonly devotional. All at once it feels disposed to pray the minute you touch it. And when you come to attack it, it howls piously. Off! You are an infidel, friends. When the history of the emancipation movement shall have been fairly written, it will be found that the abolitionists of the 19th century were the only men who dared to defend the Bible from the blasphemous charge of sanctioning and sanctifying Negro slavery. It will be found that they were the only men who dared to stand up and demand that the churches should entirely and forever purify themselves from all contact and fellowship with men who gained their fortunes by the blood of souls. It will then be seen that they were the men who planted themselves on the eternal principle of the sacred New Testament. All things whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye even so unto them. What? The golden rule. Let's read this again. It will then be seen that they were the men who planted themselves on the eternal principle of the sacred New Testament. This is Jesus Christ. All things whatsoever ye would that men should do unto you, do ye even so unto them. So I want people to treat me nice and neighborly, to have my back, to listen to me, to be rooting for me, to not rob me, to not take my wife and kids and steal my, little fucking big wheel. Don't steal my property. Don't treat me bad. And if you can't do any good, don't do any harm. Just fast forward, live your life. I won't be mad at you if you just kind of mind your own business. I like that. People who mind their own business, acting on this principle, the golden rule, where you treat it. Michael Gonzalez he doesn't believe in the golden rule. And it's logical, which makes you think, how did he pass the LSAT? He had to have been logical at one point in time. But I guess once you think, well, I know the law and I've read it all, so I don't have to study anymore. Education's a lifelong process. So if you're not having active conversations about Colorado law with somebody and somebody else, you're not even the old laws are going to fucking crumble away and just turn into dust. And feeling that if the fetters were on their own limbs, the chain upon their own persons, the lash fallen upon their own bodies, they would desire their fellow men about them to be faithful to their cause. They have dared to risk their lives, fortunes, nay, their all, for the purpose of rescuing from the tyrannous grasp of the slaveholder these 3 million of trampled down children of men. And these are the men we hear branded as infidels. That is fucked up. Move approved justice for themselves, 1855. The man who does not recognize and approve for himself the rights and privileges contended for in behalf of the American slave has not yet been found. And okay, we'll come back to that. So that's a little bit of Frederick Douglass to get us started. So I have an advisory listing, and then I went ahead and put the appeal right behind the advisory listing. So the pointless and without cause arrest for contempt. I told Michael Gonzalez that Phil Greeny had threatened to murder Lucy Gripshover, and then he got her to testify to it. She testified that it was true. He was going to go in the other room and get a gun, apparently to shoot her, to kill her, to pistol whip her for some, nefarious reason, some wicked purpose. And he didn't issue an arrest warrant right then and there. We're thinking about whether or not we should subpoena him, let alone an arrest warrant. And then he said for one day there'd be a fucking arrest warrant. And then he said that he was just going to fast forward and not do anything else and fuck me and fuck my life, and I'd made a face or something, and then I got arrested for contempt. And it sucks because if you're being lawful, you're not allowed to resist. That's such fucking bullshit. Any douchebag motherfucker, hey, there's a toothless, dumbass, douchebag piece of shit. He just made a decision that he wants to put my hands behind my back and just start raping the shit out of me. Okay, I guess I gotta let little dick Mikey Mike just have his fucking way with me. I mean, Soto Cruz has kidnapped the body, so that means Mikey Mike gets to rape the body. Has Mikey Mike ever thrown a fucking case out that wasn't his friend? Has he ever thrown a case out that wasn't a friend or family? He has no morals. He's got no ethics. He doesn't even know Colorado law. He's a criminal fuck, and he's guilty of official misconduct. Michael Gonzalez arbitrarily set the trial for a 3-day trial with a 20-minute opening and closing. Oh, that's it? Just 3 days? What if we find out something and we need to know the truth later on? No, that's a circus. I can't. That's what Johnny Depp did. Kate Moss, it was testified she had said and done something, and then Johnny Depp flew Kate Moss in to contradict it. You don't want to know the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Piece of shit, bitch. And then they fucking goddamn played fucking tricks too. 3-day trial, 20-minute open and closing. My understanding is I get as long of a closing as I want and as long as an opening as I want. And the trial goes on for as long as it goes on. So we didn't call most of the fucking, we didn't call any eyewitnesses. He didn't try to get an eyewitness. Neither did Ann Kelly. None of them, Mark, Annabelle, none of them got an eyewitness in there. There's 4 eyewitnesses and 1 material witness. It's my word versus his. The only way you can figure out between person A and person B when it's just his word versus mine, it's just he said, she, it's all goddamn motherfucking hearsay. But it's eyewitnesses. And have them swear, have them write about. I wrote everything down immediately. That's how I can remember minute details. And as time goes on, I forget here and there, but I read my words and I trust myself. I'm not, how could a person write so much if it was all lies? You got cognitive dissonance. It's not possible. 1.5 years later, restorative justice was never offered as an option to the alleged victim. Restorative justice, well, that's victims' rights. Alonzo Payne got thrown out on his ass because he didn't give a shit about victims' rights. Restorative justice, all justice has got to be restorative. If it's not restorative, there is no fucking justice. Justice is eye for an eye. And the way that's restorative is you stole a fucking eye from me. So I took an eye from you. Now we are back to even Steven. Now we are back to even keel. Now I can walk and, talk in this community instead of just being an eyeless bastard that got fucked over by a dude and never did shit about it. All justice should be restorative. What isn't? What kind of justice? Destructive? Is that what we're doing? Destructive justice? That's an oxymoron. But it was never offered. It was never offered to me or to him. Judge gives grounds for prosecutor's objections. They're cheating. They sit there, go on and on about how smart they are because they're lawyers and we know the law and how to do things. And, you better not go to court without a lawyer. You're a dumbass if you don't. $4,500 is what Kitsilja and Kitsilja charges per day. So over $100,000 worth of fucking... Anybody got $100,000 worth of fucking shit to give me? Sit there and act like, no, don't get a lawyer. You don't want to get a lawyer because that's the dumbest thing ever if you don't fucking lying, cheating, fucking piece of shit. Yeah, every time I got a lawyer, the lawyer always fucked me over. And when I defended myself, I had won. I've never taken it all the way through a trial like this before. So what was I was going to a different point. Oh, yeah. They act like they know so much, but Ann Kelly doesn't know shit. I don't even know if she went to law school because she was just saying objection without giving the grounds. And because she's a woman and we're letting her play lawyer, they're not going to get Phil Greeny in to testify. They didn't get any of the eyewitnesses. They didn't care about the truth. They're a bunch of cheating ass bitches, and what they want to do is just oppress the shit out of everybody. Here's a lie of a liar, and we're saying this guy's the bad guy and this guy's the good guy, and we're just going to shove that fucking bullshit down your throat, whether it's true or not. So anyways, they made a big deal about, not having a lawyer when she didn't even do her objections right. Neither did he. She was supposed to say objections, Ann Kelly was, and then she was supposed to give the grounds. They didn't know that. Ann Kelly doesn't know how to say her objections right. She also doesn't know how to prepare, and she also doesn't give a shit about the truth or justice. Motherfucking Jacqueline Mitchell lied right to Ann Kelly's face. You think Ann Kelly gave a shit? So shit, here I'm telling the truth. I'm talking to the cops. Motherfucking Robert Pickerel hid in his house. Jacqueline Mitchell is lying, and goddamn motherfucking Michael Gonzalez can't figure this shit out. Keith Schultz, Ann Kelly, they can't figure it out. So commit crimes, hide inside your house, and then lie. Well, shit. I guess motherfucking Robert Pickerel must have gone to goddamn Stanford Law, and motherfucking Jacqueline must have gone to goddamn Harvard Law. Or maybe the DA is a bunch of fucking criminal pieces of shit, and they listen to liars, and they're on the sides of liars and cheaters and pieces of shit, criminal fucks. They're worthless piles of shit, and they don't know right from wrong. She defended right-wing sovereign, too. Is she a Nazi? Is she a fucking Nazi? Because a lot of them motherfuckers just moved out there. Trying to preserve, acting like... I'm saying, you got rid of Xanis McDonald. Why don't you get rid of Xanis McDonald's fucking people? Oh, you want those Nazi pedophiles to stick around? You guys are big fans of the Nazi pedophiles, huh? Because that Xanis McDonald goes to jail for 40 years, and Samantha McDonald, well, she didn't even get a day in jail. Why is that? You just had that one Lucy whatever in goddamn Britain killed 7 little babies. You had that motherfucking Lori Vallow who got the man to kill her kids. Mothers are killing their own fucking babies? That's not human. That's not humanity. That's not good or good. What? That's the worst kind of holy fucking shit. Didn't you care? I carried you in the womb. I thought that's what. I carried you in the womb for 9 months, and so you create a bond, and you're always, you're going to love your child because you carried them in your womb forever. So I thought that was supposed to mean something, but apparently they carried us in the womb, and so they're pissed off at us and they can't wait to smother us to death. She killed 7 kids. Serial killer of children. And the reason why she said was she just didn't have the love and compassion to take care of them the way that they needed to be taken care of. So it was just easier to fucking kill them? Why not quit and find another job? Nah, Lucy's just going to kill 7 innocent babies. Who gives a shit? I once met a white woman that said the law don't apply to her. So I guess it has to be like really heinous and fucked up for the law to finally apply to a Caucasian female. That's who you bitches. When y'all talk about privilege, that's who you're talking about. Fuck your privilege bullshit. You had Fred Hampton got killed by the fucking cops. You had Bobby and Jack Kennedy who got killed by the cops. And Frank got killed by the cops. All the black folks were being enslaved by the fucking cops. The redcoats were the cops. You're against America? So you would have been on the side of the police, the thin blue line. That cop went to California and he was trying to catfish somebody, and he catfished himself, fell in love with a 14-year-old, killed her whole fucking family. She showed a little bit of attention to him. You don't think that's wrong? I mean, he was a cop, so thin blue line, right? He still gets to keep his job. Let's just give him a 5-year, or 2-week little administrative paid vacation, and he'll be back on the force. Nah, I'm sure he's got. Let's hear him out first, right? I'm sure he's got a good reason for why he did all that. Killed a 14-year-old's whole family and kidnapped her. J.C. Dugard, that's who Michael Gonzalez is. Soto Cruz is Philip Garrido. When the body is kidnapped, like they did to J.C. Dugard, Michael Gonzalez rapes that body. They're oppressive molesters. They have no morals, no ethics, no principles. They don't listen to the law. They don't even know the law. And they're committed to wickedness. They're not committed to goodness. He was given grounds for the prosecutor's objection because she doesn't know how to do her objections. Your Honor, can you just come up with the grounds for me? Sure. Relevant. Okay, that's cheating. You're both fucking biased and you're both trying to shut me up, you cheating pieces of shit, bitch-ass bitches, punk-ass bitches, fucking weak-ass bitches. You never had to live in a side of a community where you had to just fucking hunker down and just protect your property, and hope that you could take enough evidence, and you never had to figure out, I might have to arrest these motherfuckers. They've never lived in a situation where they were going to be, it's either do or die, right? If I don't arrest them, then they're going to arrest me? What the fuck? What the fuck? How come the cops ain't stopping? There's no FBI or CBI check for the arresting officers. So they did a fingerprint and eye scan, a whole bunch of shit. But I'm not allowed to do that shit to them. Again, they don't believe in the golden rule. They're a bunch of hypocritical fucking bitches. Soto Cruz, Brandon Howerton, Victor Hummel, Keith Schultz, Hunter Velasquez. You need 5 big men with assault rifles to arrest little old me? I went willingly. I was the only lawful person out there. I was the only one paying for the fucking permits. You think that the person committing crimes is the guy who paid for his planning and zoning permits, the guy who wasted $2,000 and wasn't able to get his house completely built because he wasted his money paying for planning and zoning? The guy who was so fucking lawful, he spent money he didn't even have for planning and zoning permits? That's the guy you think's committing crimes? You're stupid. God damn, you're stupid. I was trying to fucking follow the law to the T, and the reason why I thought I liked the law is because you can't change the law. You could be a disagreeable bitch, but you can't rape me and murder me. I didn't think you could. You could be a disagreeable motherfucker because I always said, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We got to be fair and shit. But everybody wants to justify any fucking thing that just say the opposite of the person talking to you, right? Because you're all so fucking smart. And I bet you none of you are trying to figure out, oh my God, the system isn't fair. We need to figure out a cohesive and comprehensive system, our own personal system, so it makes sense in our own head. We're just going to go through life not making sense of all this shit. Marco Gonzalez is going to get rid of the only black guy in the jury pool. Marco Gonzalez and Ann Kelly gets rid of the only black guy in the jury pool. Probably the only black guy in the San Luis Valley. Ann Kelly was like, oh, you can't, black folks have had it tough. There's this one white working class woman, and she made her cry because she was sitting there saying, you're just a dumb piece of shit working class person. I'm paraphrasing, but you can't be a fair person, right? Since you've gone through the struggles, you can't be fair. You can't be here and you can't judge, what's right and what's wrong. And then I empathized with her, and she kind of had a little demeanor of, cool. So the person defending you working class pieces of shit is the one that you're going against, and the one that just fucked you over is the one that you sided with? How stupid are you? It's a bunch of chickens voting for Colonel Sanders. Under Sheriff Soto Cruz played games with subpoenas. I thought he's the one that said to make the arrest, but Hunter Velasquez said it was Victor Hummel. Victor Hummel goes in there and testifies. Soto Cruz was there. He's the one that led the fucking brigade. He was the one that talked to me. He's the under sheriff, and he would be the ranking officer. Out of all of them, he's the one with the highest rank. But apparently Soto Cruz was just wanting to arrest me and then get me fucking chucked into the fucking garbage. Just arrest the person, and then that's, c'est la vie to me. He didn't know there was going to be like court proceedings and shit. He didn't know he was going to have to testify at court. He just wanted to fuck me over without having to testify. This stupid ass bitch, I went to him when Tecumseh was murdered, and he put his thumb up his ass and said he don't give a fuck about crimes. He didn't become a cop to stop criminals. He was sitting there flirting with some teenage mother and her fucking daughter. That's what he thought was more important. Flirting with some girl and some young mother. Did you want to go catch the bad guy? He said he wanted to hear what the fucking guy had to say about the thing. Who went out there. And I thought since Noble Haven went out there and talked to the guy, I thought I had the fucking guy. Okay, well, eventually, since he knows who it is, he'll have to come to court and tell the truth. Nope, Noble Havens covers up crimes for the fucking right-wing sovereign fucking Nazi pedophile motherfucker. There's a Nazi pedophile who killed my fucking dog. There's a right-wing sovereign. It was one of Xanis McDonald's fucking friends. They killed my beloved Tecumseh, the first dog I ever had. Not a Sandlot dog that was foaming at the mouth. Not a mean dog in the slightest. I raised him on a leash. And I would have to pick up his turds because it was in an RV park. So it's compact. You got to be respectful of other people. He's playing games with the subpoena. He shows up on day 3. He hides in the police station. Oh my God. I don't want to have to testify to what you did. Why wouldn't you, if you're an arresting officer, why wouldn't you think you would go to court and testify to what the fuck you did? The spirit of the thing wasn't against any of the police. You went there, you made a determination. Maybe one guy was right, maybe the other guy was right. I don't know. But I think it's good policy to arrest somebody, because if you do nothing and later on one of them shoots the other one, well, shit, you could have done something. Maybe I was wrong, maybe I was right, but this is the determination. This is the reason why I made the determination. But he didn't do that. He makes arrest, and apparently Michael Gonzalez Soto Cruz made a bullshit accusation, or took a bullshit accusation, made an arrest, and Michael Gonzalez took the accusation and the arrest and then pushed as hard as he could for the conviction over 2 fucking years. He didn't give a shit about the truth. He didn't give a shit about justice. He didn't give a shit about Sam Jepsen shooting at me or Robert Pickerel. He didn't give a shit about getting the witnesses in. He was going to rubber stamp this shit. This is the reason why you need a grand jury indictment. This is why you need at least a preliminary hearing, but they didn't even do a grand jury indictment, which you got to do in Colorado. That's Section 8. That's Section 8 of Colorado's Bill of Rights. You never read Section 8 of Colorado's Bill of Rights, did you? I also have a right to courts. Isn't there one of these Bills of Rights that says I have a... Michael Gonzalez doesn't know about this. Everybody, brace yourself. You got the rights of crime victims, which everybody has the right to be present at all critical stages of it. So Sam Jepsen fired shots at me. So he needs to be arraigned and arrested, and he needs to have a dispositional hearing, preliminary hearing or not. He needs to go through all the 10-step fucking procedure. 15 status hearings. But I was going to, you have a right to courts. You have a right to access to the courts. Trial by jury, grand jury, no excessive bail. It's probably at the top. Is it before Section 8, a right to the courts? Equality of justice is Section 6. Holy shit. How come Michael asshole Gonzalez doesn't know about Section 6? Equality of justice is courts of justice shall be open to every person. They were never open to me, not a single fucking day. I even told Schultz I would be willing to testify to this shit if you could protect my house. Why would I go to court and have shit people fuck with my property? If I'm going to be on your fucking side and I'm going to testify, I need to make sure that somebody's protecting my property, motherfuckers. He wasn't impressed with that. Instead, he was like, well, I'd rather try to fuck over the only lawful... I was the only lawful person. The only person to read planning and zoning Colorado laws. The only lawful person. The only moral person. The only lawful person. And because the law says you're not allowed to resist just when they fucking make a decision, you gotta get fucked over. Well, you made a decision to fuck me over. Hold on, let me lock my door and let me get my dogs all tied up. Don't you worry. They're going to ignore 8 assassination attempts. There was 5 cops with fucking AR-15s on my fucking head. I've had to endure several fucking drive-by shootings, you fucking pieces of shit, and you're going to shit a brick over a couple warning shots? What a bunch of bitches. That means Colorado's a bunch of bitches. Any toddler from Kentucky could beat the fuck out of any Coloradan man, woman, or child. Child, woman, or man. Any fucking, you're a tough guy. No, you're not. In Colorado, you're a bitch about warning shots. Jesus fucking Christ. Y'all never heard of the Second Amendment? You never heard of posse commentary? Y'all never heard of any, the Constitution, federalism, the rule of law? You ever heard of any of these 3 branches of government? You ever heard of any of this? Elections, the Republic, the Democratic Constitutional Republic. You ever heard of any of this stuff? Am I the only one talking about this stuff? Courts of justice shall be open to every person, and a speedy remedy afforded to every injury to person, property, or character, and right and justice should be administered without sale, denial, or delay. So his whole goal is to fuck everybody over. If he's not a friend to you, then if a cop or a lawyer says that you did something, he's going to do what he can to fuck you the fuck over. He don't care about the truth. All he cares about is and why. If he's not an outright criminal motherfucker in cahoots with all these crimes, then he's a lazy bastard. And he's a systemite. He thinks that the system would collapse if he let somebody go or some shit. Motherfucker, you would be merciful, you stupid ass bitch. And actually, you might be just. You might actually be just, you stupid bitch. He jerked his steering wheel. He felony menaced me. Code Janty felony menaced me first. He threatened to murder my dogs. And I fired a couple warning shots. He's not even injured. And they're trying to get me raped for 6 fucking years. 6 fucking years. And the guy didn't even get injured. Can't I at least go smack him? Before y'all get me raped for 6 years, at least can I smack the fucking guy? My next step after warning shots was to arrest him. God damn, you all shit a brick over fucking warning shots. Imagine if I would have tried to kidnap his body and put him in front of Michael Gonzalez. He would have been like, that's assault and kidnapping, and he wouldn't have seen my side at all, right? Because he's not on the side of the citizen. He doesn't believe in the Colorado citizen. He's against the 50,000 souls in Colorado. He's only for the lawyers and the cops. That's it. That's all he's for. Because he could treat the lawyers like bitches. He could treat them both like bitches. But a citizen, hell, they might get in there and they might say something that he doesn't like to hear. But cops and fucking lawyers, they gotta kiss his fucking ass no matter what. Or they could lose their fucking badge, or they could lose their fucking, accreditation. He rejected Exhibit C, which is the planning and so we're gonna throw out Michio Kaku's one page of a psychologist, which basically says that eyewitness testimony is sometimes reliable, sometimes not. It's just saying, just a psychological paragraph about psychology. And it's from Michio Kaku, so it's in a book. I didn't make this up myself. He's acting like I need to bring Michio Kaku in. He says the Colorado Constitution is no good. No, I don't want the jury to see the Constitution, and I don't want the jury to see planning and zoning laws. It's 87 pages. I lived my whole life by the laws of planning and zoning for the first 2 years of Costilla County. You're not going to say, good job, Jonathan. You're going to say, that's the criminal. The guy that was so lawful, he didn't just obey the big laws, but he's obeying the tiny little planning and zoning laws too. That's the bad guy. You're stupid. You're stupid. God damn, are you fucking dumb as fuck? How stupid are you? People make it fucking impossible for you to fucking live. I spent all my money on planning and zoning, so Susie Lucero, you got my money. Colleen Romero, you stole that money from me. Good job, you thieving bitch. I didn't get no police protection, you thieving ass bitches. When the fucking the citizen criminals, you got government criminals and citizen criminals. What was the point of being lawful? So Colleen Romero could be a fucking piece of shit to me? So yeah, Michael Gonzalez, you haven't administered it without sale, denial, or delay, no speedy remedy for every injury to person, property, or character. He was my property. Tecumseh was my property. We've got no fucking remedy to that. Samuel Jepson was shooting at me. Well, that's, injury. I guess I didn't get hit, but that's attempted murder. That's felony menacing. That's an attempted injury, and then emotional distress, and I don't have a sense of safety. So Sam Jepson needs to be arrested. No speedy remedy. The court wasn't open to me. He said that I could civil fucking something and a restraining order. I see how you cheat in the criminal fucking thing. You think I'm supposed to pay you $300 and all of a sudden you'll be a fair person between me and somebody else? Shut the fuck up, you lying bitch. You're a cheating bitch. Pay him $300. They already stole $130. Stole $5,000. They stole my whole life. They stole my whole life. And Costilla County, you're not allowed to be a good man who raises a family and gets a career. They don't want that type of shit. You can't have a dog and a white picket fence. No fucking white picket fence, no good families, and no career people. Michael Gonzalez will not hear of it. What, Thunder? You defended your family? You need to get your head checked. No, Mike Gonzalez, you need to get your head checked. You're supposed to defend your family. You're supposed to be good and decent to others. The golden rule is you treat others the way you want to be treated, which means you're good to people. But he doesn't know that. And so when a good person is right there, he can't even see goodness in a good person. That's how fucking fucked he is in the head. The Westword article wasn't admitted. This is a notorious fucking region. There's a reason why it's so fucking cheap. Because a bunch of fucking criminal fucks go out there and try to... There's a Westword article that went ahead and explained all that. Talked about Soto Cruz and said a whole bunch... He said I needed to get the author. I didn't write the fucking article, you fucking piece of shit. Just like I didn't write that book. You're allowed to turn in books. You're allowed to turn in articles. The only thing is if you think you want to get a foundation, extra foundation, and if you don't think that what I'm putting forward is not the thing, you don't think that's a Westword article there, Michael Gonzalez? I swear that's the Westword article. Verbatim, you could have pulled it up on your own fucking HTML. Yeah, the fucking book. You could have looked that up too. You could have found out that it was an actual published book. You could have actually found out that it was an actually published article. I don't need the motherfucking reporter in the article just to fucking point out a couple fucking things. Fucking piece of shit bitch, but he's a cheater. He's a cheater. He's trying to take a lie and he's trying to shove it down their throats. He's trying to get rid of the truth, erase the truth. He doesn't have any virtue, so he doesn't believe in domestic tranquility or the fucking preamble. He doesn't care about the general welfare. He's not trying to protect civil liberties, or he's establishing injustice. He's establishing wickedness. Robert Pickerel gets to worship the fucking devil and not only be committed to evil, but do evil acts over and over and over again. So does Phil Greene and Hiram Richardson. Hiram Richardson should thank Michael Gonzalez because he gets to commit all the crimes he wants to commit. Phil Greene must be the fucking chief judge. I guess he's actually like a minor judge. Michael Gonzalez, he must suck Phil Greene's dick every day. Every day he's not arrested, he's on the side of criminality. Every day any of these people not arrested that I've accused of, you're on the side of criminality. You took one accusation and fucked me over, but you're not taking any of the accusations that I made beforehand. I could see you trying to say, oh, he's just trying to get out of it. You don't believe in justice. You don't believe in righteousness. You don't believe in stopping crimes at all. So many crimes fucking happened. Where were the cops? They didn't do shit. And then when the cops didn't do shit, then the three branches of government is a bunch of egghead motherfuckers and they don't know what to do. If your life is good, then you could just pretend that everything the cops do is good because you've never been in a poor place in your life. Think about how if you're in a criminal neighborhood and the cops are criminal, you got to deal with criminal cops and criminal fucking neighbors. You got to deal with nothing but a pile of fucking criminals. $130 worth of subpoenas they stole fucking money. They stole. Thou shalt not steal. Michael Gonzalez, you never heard of that? Thou shalt not steal.